Shalom, today is April 18th and it's day 195 since October 7th, since Hamas attacked Israel and war began in Israel. Let's take a look in Haaretz right now. What is the news? 18 injured from missiles and aerial vehicles, or you can call them drones, coming into Israel from Lebanon. Here's a picture of the damage that was done where 18 Israelis, mostly soldiers in reserve duty, were injured. One of them is in a critical situation. Here it is in Yediot Achronot, still with the Israeli flag symbolizing the war that Israel is in. 18 injured, 4 of them in a serious condition, but one of them in a very critical condition. It happened in a community center and a Bedouin village up in the north, and the Bedouins say Hezbollah from Lebanon. Don't care if it's a Bedouin, Arab, or Jewish settlement or city, they just hit. The headline is כשהכטב"ם פוגע, when the drone actually hits. And here's the picture of some of the damage. Let's open up and see. Malkodet Esh Bamatnas, a fire trap in the community center. Here's the unmanned aerial vehicle before the attack. Here's the community center that's being attacked. It's a Bedouin village, the moment of attack, of explosion. And this is part of the great damage that it had left. And of course, 18 soldiers were injured. And it reads, Haslama b'tzafon, an escalation in the north. Hezbollah launched missiles and drones towards a bunch of IDF soldiers. So this was very much intentional. We see here a little map. Here is Lebanon in the darker color, and Israel is in the lighter yellow, and this is where it happened. So the aerial vehicle exploded very close to the border. Here on the right, they're explaining how Hezbollah is getting more and more sophisticated with their drones that are, by the way, backed by Iran and provided by Iran. And Hezbollah is just getting sophisticated also in the distance. The fact that it was so close to the border does not give Israel's defense system any time to respond and to intercept, to send the Iron Dome missile that will intercept it. So that's why the damage is so great, with 18 soldiers injured. This is probably a revenge action after Israel assassinated 2 seniors of Hezbollah in the depths of Lebanon. Here's a picture in the hospital in Nahariya, and it reads, they declared a multiple casualty event as the results were very, very hard, 18 injured. This is about Hezbollah's continued attempt to bypass Israel's aerial defense, and they are here comparing between an average rocket, which has 25 kilograms of explosions, versus the Burkan rocket that now they're using more often, 60 kilograms to 500 kilograms of explosives in it. And it says this is a rocket that is really endangering the north, and they have been using it the last couple of days, and the damage is great in the cities in the north and the settlements, and also in the IDF bases in the north. This rocket can also enter safe rooms and shelters if it's a direct hit. And I'm quoting, Hezbollah is on a learning curve as they are attempting to bypass the Israeli aerial systems over and over again, and they're just getting better and better. But also we in the IDF are learning them, and we can learn how to handle the Burkan rockets. So also the IDF is becoming more and more sophisticated to protect from Hezbollah's ammunition. The IDF also says, I'm reading, that in the last few months, Hezbollah is using only 5% of what they have in their ammunition storehouses. Here's an article about the Israeli Red Cross, people that are working in the north and are staying away from their families in the small settlements there. And they're saying, here they are, this is a war, and the feeling is scarier than ever. We stayed here in the north because it's our home and they need us. But the situation cannot continue. The government has to act. And here I'm reading a very sweet article about a kindergarten or a preschool that was opened on the bottom underground of one of the hospitals in Haifa, the Rambam. It's a very large, well-known hospital in Haifa. As they're getting ready and preparing for an escalation in the north, knowing that the medical personnel there will be staying long hours. They're trying to help those medical personnel's families by providing a preschool in the hospital for their children underground, and artists from Betzalel School came and decorated it and designed it with great talent, and the kids can enjoy going to their preschool in a very safe place while making it easier on their parents who are working right above them in the hospital. The next article is about Iran. This is, they're quoting some citizens from Iran saying, we're actually in more danger to be killed by the modesty guard in Iran rather from an Israeli attack. And I'm quoting, "Mekavim po shemaka Israelit," people hope here that an Israeli hit will cause chaos. In Hebrew, it's also chaos, or maybe, as you remember, it's also called balagan, that will take people out to the streets and demonstrate against the Iranian government. We see here Iranians walking in Tehran streets. So this is about a specific, actually, Iranian citizen that is speaking about an Israeli attack in Iran, and she's hoping it will wake up the people of Iran. There's a small report here that Iran is evacuating some of their military bases in Syria as they are concerned, or they're afraid that Israel will attack them. So a lot of things are going on that we're not very much aware of in the daily life here in Israel. Israel b'milchama. Aliyah chada, a sharp increase in the number of soldiers with mental health injuries from the war. And they're calling them haptsuim hashkufim, the transparent injured ones. And let's see why. Before the war, 62,000 soldiers who became disabled from fighting, they are in this rehabilitation centers all across Israel. 80% of them have mental health issues because of their fighting. But since the beginning of the war, here in red, 7,209 injured ones were received into the rehabilitation wing, and 29% of those are having a mental reaction. And they expect that by the end of 2024, 20,000 new injured soldiers will be added. 40% of those will be mainly mental health issues, where the soldiers become disabled because of trauma. And with all this mental health need, they're having a hard time recruiting psychiatrists to the rehabilitation centers. They also say that from all of the ones being received in these rehabilitation centers, 95% of them are young men under the age of 30. And this is one of the rehabilitation centers in the Sheba Hospital. It reads here, "Welcome to the rehabilitation center for injured soldiers." I'll read to you what they decided to highlight here in the article. Noa Rofe, she's the manager of the social services, and she's in the rehabilitation center here, and she says that amongst these disabled soldiers, the holiday days increase the feelings of pain and of loneliness, and they could lead to very just extreme emotions and even thoughts of suicide. It's pain that many of these soldiers just cannot bear. And they're mentioning this as Passover is right here in Israel very, very soon, will be celebrated next week. So as they say here, these are the transparent ones, the unseen injured ones with seemingly less heroic stories, where some of these injuries will be part of their lives for the rest of their life. We pray that they do find comfort. For more updates, for more stories, go to allisrael.com. Follow us on our social media. Like this video if you liked it and share it with your friends. This is Rotem Magen for All Israel News.